morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Friday, March the 26th. ALEX LaBRUNERIE is with us from LaBRUNERIE Financial, and we're going to end the week today on a positive note. We're going to try to stay positive with this whole thing. Good to have you here, Alex.
Great to be back.
When you walked in today, you said things are starting to look up. They're starting to look up. And why did you make that statement?
Well, I think we ought to just be really pleased about the number of vaccines our country is giving to ourselves, dosing, I guess they call it. We're doing almost 2.4 million vaccinations a day.
Yeah, and hopefully even more.
Yes, and climbing. And that's a year ago, Paul, we were in the depth of the panic of COVID.
Right. Now, that's not to say that even though those vaccines are out there, that's not to say that we should not be careful, because we still have to be careful. We still need to wear our mask. But the positive thing is, it looks like there is light at the end of that long tunnel. There's a
It sure does, and it feels good and warm and enjoyable.
Yeah.
We can actually envision getting on a plane maybe in August or October, depending on one's point of view. But you're right, we have to follow still the CDC rules and our county health rules.
It also has a positive mental effect on us. It does. I was telling another guest that when I got my first shot, it was an emotional thing for me. It almost brought me to tears when I was standing in line there waiting to have that needle put in my arm.
Yeah, it's such a stress relief, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
it was a real stress release. You're thinking, wow, this is it. Maybe we can start getting back to normal.
Yeah.
And the more people that will accept this and take the vaccine, the quicker.
And the quicker the stock market is excited about it, evidently too, or it's excited about something because it keeps hitting new records, and we're seeing airline stocks and energy stocks and hoteliers, anything that has to do with travel, really start to appreciate in value.
Yeah, and the stock market a lot of times operates on emotion, doesn't it?
Very much so.
On emotion, and when you've got something good like this on the horizon, it reacts to that.
It does. It tries in its best moments to be a forward pricing machine. Looking down the road and trying to see what's going to increase in value or increase in sales. And I think we can all, so the travel, we're seeing actually, Paul, a movement away from growth stocks a little bit, not in a big way, but the big technology companies like Apple and Amazon that were the big winners in the last 12 months. We're starting to see companies that like banks and restaurant companies, any of those type of businesses are seeing more investors move into their stocks and bonds.
Because people are having more confidence.
More confidence.
In the future.
Yes. Yeah. So for the publicly traded restaurants, the ones that had not already rallied, they're beginning to rally. Of course, healthcare is big, and technology is not going away. Investors love technology stocks, but they're not the only issues seeing buyers.
What about the companies who have developed the COVID vaccine?
Well, it's mixed. Their stocks have not done some. There's Moderna. They saw their big pops or increases a year ago or last summer, and they've kind of leveled off. But there's Johnson & Johnson. Remains a very great pharmaceutical company, and they're haven't seen a lot of growth there in the stock price, but long term it may be healthcare is always a good investment, defensive and growth oriented.
Yeah.
You probably want to look at diversification, not just buy one stock, but on speculation.
Right. Bonds, on the other hand?
Bonds have had a bad month. Interest rates went up in the open market on fear of possible inflation or in the future, maybe 2 or 3 years from now, which we can discuss on later shows. But rates went up about 0.5% in the mortgage markets in the last 3 or 4 weeks. And Fed Reserve Chair Jerome Powell was sanguine about it. He didn't offer a solution for that. The Fed's policy is to try to let inflation grow at 2.5–3% a year, and he still thinks that's about where we'll be as far as the measurement of inflation in our country a year from now.
Why is it? It seems like when the stock market does well, climb, bonds tend to recede a bit.
Yeah. So it's the defensive. You might buy bonds if you're more fearful, and if you're more optimistic in the prospects of the economy, you sell your bonds and buy stocks. So you see sometimes
but
a back and forth.
But it's important to have both, isn't it?
The long-term investor in saving for retirement needs to have both. Yes.
Okay. So in the short run, again, recapping, things are looking brighter because of the vaccine is out there. The important thing is enough people have to take that vaccine,
yes,
so we can reach the herd immunity. Immunity. And I've heard different...
Hopefully dispel COVID from our systems. I don't know.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice if a year from now we're sitting here and we're talking about, remember what it was like last year when that COVID virus was around?
And I think we will.
I hope so. I hope it becomes to the point where once a year, if we have to take those COVID shots, it's just like taking the flu shot.
Yes.
And we're not discussing it along political lines because it's a health issue. It's a health issue to take the vaccine.
Absolutely,
and
that's right.
You're helping not only yourself, but you're helping your friends and your neighbors. You're helping the community. You're helping humanity in general.
Yes, and maybe even the stock market.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have something to do with that. Alex, we're just about out of time. Is there anything else that you want to mention?
No, this happy spring to everyone, and have a great weekend.
Yeah, we are in spring now, aren't we? This is March 26th, so we're in spring. If you want more information or you just want to talk about your finances, you can give Alex and the nice people a call over at LaBRUNERIE Financial, and your phone number is?
573-449-5313.
Okay, and if you go in, they all got bow ties on except for Friday.
That's right.
It's bow tie-less Friday. Thank you, Alex. A pleasure having you here.
Great to be here, Paul.
Stay well, all right? If there's something you'd like to hear and see, we would love to hear from you. Drop me an email. That's pepperp@missouri.edu. And please continue wearing those masks.